Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the advanced webinar for the Brand Supply Web App Design Contest. First, let me introduce myself. My name is Daniel. I'm part of the Webapptool support team. You'll be also speaking to me in the coming days if you start building and you have any questions and you use the support tool. I will be one of the guys answering your questions. Before we start, if you have any kind of questions, please use the chat tool to address them, and then I will also build in some time after each segment so that you can ask your questions. Just a couple of pointers for you. Make notes during the webinar. Of course, we will be recording them. So if it goes a little bit too fast, don't worry. You can watch it all back on YouTube. So just to give you a little bit more options. Like I said, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask them via the chat, and I will group them after each section so that I can go through them at once. And of course, don't before you start building your web app, don't forget to read through the briefing one more time, just to make sure that you have all the requirements for the contest to compete with a viable app. What are we going to address today? The first section will be about design and layout, setting up your designs overall and for specific pages. Then we have a section that you can ask your questions. Then I'm going to talk about the different kinds of navigation through the footer menu, panel menu, and button links. Again, then you have a possibility to ask your questions. And we will be discussing a large portion of the webinar. We will be discussing the function modules. So how can you build different functions and add them to the content of your pages? Again, with the possibility to ask questions. And the last segment, I will address again how to get in touch with us for the various support. By going into the system, what we did, we made a example app in which I can show you specific examples of how to work within the web app tool. The last webinar ended with discussing the setting up the overall theme of your web app, which you will be doing via the theme button. If you click on that, then you get a pop-up screen in which you can set up the overall look and feel from your web app. So first you start with with the icon image, the splash image, which will be shown on the iPhone once a user has placed the icon on his start screen. The default background, in this case, we have a default background of white, of the color white, but you can also upload the file. The default text window, that is the background of the section where the text is placed, the text color, and of course the header and the footer color or design. Once again, you can upload a file. Like we already discussed, a very important segment in every module is the question mark. Once you click on it, you can get additional information, and in many cases also a YouTube video explaining a little bit more about what you can do in that section. In this case, the default header, which size do you have to use, and which size you have to use to design and upload. Pages module, in which you can amend the content per page. If you open it up, like I said, you open at standard, you open at page number 1, so that's your starting page or home page of your web app. And the first step is to go to the page properties. So if you open up the page properties, then you can see I'm working here in page 1, and I've given it the name, page name, home. This is purely for yourself, so it's not something that will be showing up in the front end of the app, but it only helps you navigate easier between pages. So the name I filled out here, you can find here, and if I open this one, you can see that this app consists of 6 pages that we filled, and we've given it 6 different names, so that I can easily navigate through those pages once I'm working on them. The second step that you have to take a look at is the page layout. In this section, you can disable, for example, the header, the footer, or the panel. Like we discussed, you can see the real life result of your work in one of the emulators. So if I grab here the emulator, here you can see this is page 1. And if I enable the header and I push update, I push refresh, then you can see here there's a header added to the first page. If I disable it again but enable the footer, I push update and I do refresh, then you see here that the footer is added. But in this case we decided that we don't want to show either the header or the footer, but we want to show the panel menu. So if I click disable panel menu, I push update and I push refresh, then you can see here that the panel menu is gone. These settings are only specific to this page number 1. So if I want to change other pages, then I have to go into another page. Now, as you can see, each page consists of up to 4 tabs. So here you can see tab 1, tab 2, tab 3, tab 4. Sometimes we see that people think that these are 4 different pages, but this is page 1 and you can fill out up to 4 different tabs. So if I go back to the page properties, here you can see a page navigation. So I can this is the way you can set up the sliding effects between the different tabs. So in this case you can see that we have used 4 different tabs and we use the standard horizontal slide. So if I go here, you can see 1, 2 and 3. If I want to use another sliding effect, you can just go into the page navigation and, for example, choose slide horizontal, update, I push refresh, and you can see now it has a different sliding effect. So depending on how you want to have the layout of your different tabs, you can play around here with all the different settings. This is also something that I want to give with you. There are a lot of possibilities within the system. Today I will be discussing the standard ones and also the ones we feel that you are going to use to end this project in the right way. But of course, if you want to play around with different effects and also just be my guest, dive into the system and contact us if you have any questions. So if you want, so once again, you can have 4 different tabs on each page. Well, if you want to fill out content, you can just start by placing white pages through enters, adding text, and you can also use the what you see is what you get editor, the text editor to amend those content, and I push update. And once again, I push refresh, and then you can see here I've added a bold text on the right side. So that is the way you can just add standard content. Another way for you to use this one is to view it in HTML mode. So if you click on HTML, then you can see here that I've placed a number of enters, then a shortcode, then another one, then another couple of enters, and then again a shortcode. If I push view HTML, I can see the HTML code. Once again, if you're not comfortable with that, you don't have to use it because you can also use just the regular what you see, what you get editor. And the last button I want to address is this one. It's to make a table. As soon as you want to place, for example, different images next to each other, you can use table just by, I will give you a sample later in the webinar, but if I push here, I want to make, for example, 3 columns and 2 rows, add, then you can see that it is pasted into the system, into the content automatically, and you can start filling it out. That will be that was the section about discussing the page content. I was wondering, do you have any questions for now? Well, tab images, Nenke, that is what you can use the tab images. Good for you to do this, because that is something I forgot. You can style a tab, each tab individually. You can do that either by 2 buttons via the tab image. If you click that, then you have the possibility to upload a file. And once you take a regular image, I push upload. Then you can see it's a rather large image, so it's not very suitable, but then you get the point. Then you can see here, if I refresh the page, then on the top of the content, the content image is being shown. So that you can always use if you want to place an image on at the top of the content, so above the content. If you want to style the specific tab, you can use the tab theme. In this case, we used on the first tab, we used a different background. So if I open this, you can see it here. And for the same case goes also for tab 2. Then I can, here you can see, if I go to tab 2, you can see a background of Italy, of Rome, and here you have that image. So what we did here is I've uploaded an image, a background image specifically for this tab. So that way you can play with different backgrounds and different styles items for each tab. Well, if those were the questions for right now, I'm going to want to go to the next step of setting up your web app, and that is the different kinds of navigation that you can use. As you can see, the second section, you can see 3 different kinds of ways to have navigation within your web app. I will be addressing them all 3. The first one I want to address is the footer menu. Well, the footer menu is, like you suspect, a menu that you can find at the bottom of each page. Just to give you an example, if I go to one of the pages, here you can see that we have a page in which we have a footer menu. Well, setting up a footer menu is very easy. What you just do is you can upload different kind of icons. You can add, if you want, an icon name, and it will be placed directly in the footer. As you can see here, you can also place an overlay color. This is the color that we use once you are on a page which you are visiting, so that the user can see on which page he's visiting and browsing. So if I navigate to specialties, you can see that the overlay color is live over there. And you can just upload a number of icons that you want. We always suggest not to add more than 6 different links, because otherwise it gets very crowded in the footer menu. If you have more links, you can use one of the other methods for the navigation, just for usability's sake. Well, how do you add an item to the menu? It's real easy. You just choose File. Then here you go. We have situated them here in the footer, and I want to add a hotel information icon. Choose. I add it. As you can see here, it is added to the menu. I want to have it. I want to name it. The icon name is being shown right underneath the icon. So in this case, we call it hotel. And I want to add it to page number 3. So I have added in this web app, I've made a page on page 3 that is called hotel, and where I want to display some information about the hotel. So what I do is I get the link of the page. It's hashtag 3. I click update. I push refresh. And if I go then to information, for example, then you can see here that the icon with hotel is added. But I don't want to add it here. I wanted to have it on the second spot, because for my design it's a little bit better. So then I can just use these arrows to position it. So I want to add it. I want to place it one level down, and if I go then here you can see that it is replaced. And if I click on hotel, then I can view this page. Ninka asked a question about that you can show or disable the footer on different pages. If I go again to the pages module and I go to info, and for this page I don't say I don't want to show the footer menu, then I disable the footer, update, and if I then go to refresh and to the info page, then you can see that the footer is left out. You can't disable it for a specific tab only. So it's for a specific page, but if you want on the first tab the footer and on the second tab not, that's not a possibility, unfortunately. So That was the footer menu. A second way for you to arrange your navigation is to use the panel menu. The panel menu is situated in the navigation modules under this button, and the panel menu usually is recognized with a icon that is 3 or more stripes on the left or right top corner. This is one of the examples how you can use it. If you go into the panel menu, then you see that there are different settings you can set up in before you start. So the panel position, that is the position of the icon that you want to place. So you can choose left, middle, or right. So if I update this to the middle, I push refresh, then you see that the icon is moved to the middle. That is also you can also set up the way it slides in. So in this app, we decided to slide it in from the right, but you can also choose top, bottom, or left. So if I update again, and now you see that the panel menu is sliding up from the bottom, but I want to have it on the right side. And there are three other settings that you can do. The top position, those 34 pixels. What I've done here is that I wanted to have the panel menu not getting higher than the panel icon. So here you can see that it is just situated below the icon. For example, if I were to push this a little bit more down, let's say 80 pixels, I push update, I push refresh, then you can see it's sliding in lower. Another setting that you can do is the panel width. And that is, in this case, I've chosen a panel width of 180 pixels. So this is the size of this. So if I would increase this to 250 pixels, I push refresh. Well, then you can see it's becoming a lot bigger. Why do also the size of the buttons increase? That is because in the image width, I've put the images on 100%. So all the images will adjust to the panel size that you put in here. So you don't have to make your buttons specifically 180 pixels. You can make them, let's say, 300 pixels. Upload them and give them an image width of 100%, and then the system will take care of it by cropping them to 180 pixels, so that you always have on every device a crisp and sharp image. And the last setting that you can do is the height. I've put it here on 100%, and that means that it will take the whole complete height of the screen. So in this case, yeah, well, it's a design decision. Then of course you can upload a menu image, panel menu image. That is the icon that you can upload, and you can set a background either by a background color, so putting in a hashtag color code, or uploading a background image. The third option that you have is a text color. In this case, I only used images, so the text color is not being used at all. Once again, I want to add an item to the menu. It goes a little bit like this, the same like the footer menu. I just choose a file. In this case, I'm going to add once again a link to the hotel page. So I go to my hotel page, hotel. I choose the add. I want to put it in 100%, and I want to link it to page 3. I click update, refresh, and then you can see that the first entry is the link that I've placed. Well, as you can see here, I've made a logo that I want to display on the top. It's just a button that I did not link to any page. So that is a way for you to also incorporate images into the panel menu. But I want to place the hotel button under the info. So you just use the arrows again. So I think if I refresh now, and then you can see here that I've placed the hotel button inside the panel menu on the right place. Any questions still so far regarding the panel menu? The third way to incorporate a navigation structure is by using button links. Button links are just images that you use, that you can connect a link to, and that kind of link can be an internal link, but also an external link, a PDF file, a Word file, an Excel file, etc., etc., an email, a phone. So you can give different functions to each button link. Well, in this case, I want on the app, on the second tab, this page is completely empty. But I would like to place a button that connects to a page within the app. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to upload a button. Button links. I choose. I add it. Then it shows up here. And then I have to give it a tag name. So I'm going to give the tag name Rome. Check Rome. I want to link it to a page that is regarding information about Rome. So I'll go to my pages. And so I want to link it to page 2, hashtag 2. So here I'm going to fill out hashtag 2. I give it a width of 100%. So what the image does is it situates itself on 100% of the available space. I want to align it in the center, and I choose one of the different press effects, and I push update. Then I have to place it into the content of the app, because now I've made a button, but it's not being shown anywhere. So I remember this tag name. I go to my pages module, and I wanted to place the button on page 1 in the second tab. So I wanted to place it here. So the tag for a button link, it starts with, this is the tag that I wanted to use. So I push update, I put refresh, and then you see that I've made a big button here. So it takes 100% of the available space. If, for example, I decided to say, well, no, I don't want to have just one button, but I want to make 4 buttons, what I can do then is I can start a new tab. For example, I want to make 2 columns with 2 rows, add, and just place the shortcode here, update, put refresh. Then you can see here, as you can see, you can add some white space between on your pages just by adding some enters in the content. Oh. Here you can see, of course you can style it a little bit better, but here you can see that I've made a table with 4 buttons. Each button takes up 100% of the available space that we have. So that in that way, using the tables, you can add different buttons or images next to each other on a nice spacing row. For now, we don't need that. So if I go back, what if because now I say, well, this button is a little bit too big, I want to make it smaller. Then you just go back into your button links menu, and you for example, I want to have this button a little bit smaller, so I make it 80%, and that means that it will take up 80% of the available space within that tab. So I push refresh, then you can see that the button is become a little bit smaller, and in my view looks a little bit nicer. So this is a way that you can build buttons with the button links menu. Regarding the button links, are there any questions? What I want to do now is to get into the different functionalities within Webapptool that you can use to build content within your app without building all those functionalities yourself. Well, going into the function modules, I want to address. I'm not going to address them all. My goal here is to show you the principles of Webapptool, because all the function modules sort of work the same way about setting them up and displaying them within the content of the page. But I'm going to discuss the ones that I think you are going to use for your project for the Brand Supply app. And the first one I want to address is the media module. The media module is a module that you can use to upload and show images or YouTube movies. So just to go into the first one, images, if I go to my app and I go to the information page, you can see that this is a complete white page with just some little bit of content. So I want to add a image within this content. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to upload a file. I want to upload this one, choose, add. And once again, I have to give it a tag name. The tag name for a media file is add, and then the tag name. So in this, I call it round Italy. Oh. I don't give it a description because the description, if you want that will be shown underneath the image. So maybe in some cases you want to give a description. In this case, I'm going to leave it blank. I'm going to give it a width of 100% and I want to align it to the center. If you don't fill out an alignment, then it automatically will be aligned in the center. So if you forget and you push update, then you will see that it will be aligned in the center. So then once I've uploaded the image, I have to use the tag name to show it in the content of the app. So then I go to my pages module and I have to go to the information page about Rome. So that is this one, information. And here I'm going to place the tag name, add round Italy without the space. If I push update, refresh, and go to the information page, now you can see that I've added this image into the content of the app. The same can be done with a YouTube video. I found a YouTube video regarding Rome. So what you have to do then is to search for the YouTube idea. It's situated here right after, right in the URL. So if I copy this one and I go back to the media module, and I paste it in the YouTube ID, then you can see that the video shows up right away. So if you have pasted the right YouTube ID, then you can add the YouTube also via tag name. So if I put here Rome video, the width is always 100%, so you don't have to fill out that. And I push update, and I go back into the content, and I put add Rome video, update, I put refresh, and go to info. Then you can see that the video is added into the content. So you don't have to worry about embedding code or something. Just add the YouTube ID to the media module and add the shortcode into the content. Just if you have any questions, just interrupt me via the chat. I will take a look at it regularly. Otherwise, I'm going to just go into the next function. And the next function is the forms module. If I go to the page about the hotel, then you can see here a rating of this hotel. What we did here is, if I go to the pages module and I go into the hotel page, then you can see here the tag name add rate. Well, the double hashtag stands for the shortcode for a form. So I go back to the forms module. Then you can see here that we made a form already with the hashtag and with the name rate. At the moment, it only consists of a rating field, but we are going to, for example, add some extra fields. But first, I want to address the form properties. It's easy, just fill them out step by step, and it will be complete. So you start with the email from. Usually, this is an email that you can use just to make to yourself, so that you know what the place is where the form is coming from. Of course, the email too. So that usually is the email of the client. If you want, you can also add a CC and a email subject. So in this case, we made it the email subject rate. And then here you can add a text that will be shown in two ways. Once the user has clicked on send, this text will be shown up, but it will also be shown up in an email sent to them by confirmation. And then you can add, you can change this, the name and description of the submit button. So if I, for example, make submit, I update and I push refresh, then you can see that the button, that the submit button now calls out submit. Well, if we want to add extra fields, it's easy by going into the form fields. For example, I want to know the name of the user. Then you can choose between different field types. In this case, of course, name. I want to have it required, so they have to fill it out. I want to have their email address. Choose email. And I want to have maybe have a little bit more of a story about why they given a certain rating to the hotel. So I make it your story and I choose text box to have a little bit more room for them to fill out their story. And if I click now refresh and I go back to the hotel page, then you can see that those fields are added right into the form. So if you want to start by scratch, just start with a new form, place the tag into the content of the page where you want to show that form, fill out the form fields that you want to have inside the form, and then you can add it to the content of the page. Well, the third function module I would like to discuss with you is the shop module. I know that the shop module maybe in this case can seem a little bit strange, but you can use that module for all kinds of different in all kinds of different ways. So you can make it a full-blown cash and carry shop in where people can order it, send the order by email and so on, but you can also use it as just as a window dressing, what we did in this case. So what we did is if I go to specialities, then you can just say here all kinds of specialities that I want to show here. So I'm going to set up the shop and then I'm going to make it available in the content. If you want to make it a full-blown cash and carry shop, you can use the order form. Order form, just like in the forms module, you can set up where the email has to be sent to, what the confirmation text will be, and so on. And you can set up the theme. So in this case, you can add all different kinds of custom icons suiting the design that you have on the shop. But in this case, I'm only going to use the shop just to show different kinds of specialities and their prices, but without the ordering suggestion. So that is why I've ticked the disable checkout. There's also no VAT or BTW, and there's also no currency. So in this case, I just want to show different kinds of products. So I want to add an extra product. How I can do that is just by clicking, by starting out by filling out these fields. So in this case, I want to add some wine. There are no options. Just want to add a price. And if I click on add, then you can see that it is added to all the products, and there's no image yet. So if I click this one, then I get a pop-up screen in which I can add a product. So if I go to my shop and choose upload, update, and I click refresh and I go to the specials, well, then you see still no other products. That is because we haven't placed the tag or shortcode into. Once I've, but I still have to place the tag #shop into the content. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to to go to my content. I want to place this little shop inside the specialties page. So then I want to place it right beside this. And I push hashtag shop and click update, put refresh, and I go to the specialties. Then you can see that the shop is added. I click on it, a larger image is being shown. So this way you can use it in different ways. And I challenge you to come up with different kind of creative ways to use the shop module to show different kinds of products or services of a company and so on. As you can see here, and that is what will be show what you can see in all different kinds of function modules, is this fold out. And here you can see that there are up to 6 different shops that you can build. So for example, if I want to, this is the specialties of the Italians, and I also want to make a new shop with specialties of the Germans, then I go to shop hashtag shop 1, fill out all the products, and if I want to show that on another page, then I fill out the short code or tag hashtag shop 1 just to fill that out. Well, let me get back to the questions that were asked by Nienke. The first one regarding the forms. If you don't fill out the size of a form field, is it unlimited? Well, it's always a fixed size. So if you don't fill out the size, it's a standard one. But you can also, but the user can always fill it out in limited. So if they want to have a very long text, that doesn't matter. If you leave that just blank. So that is regarding the shop module. Then the places module you can also use in different kinds of ways. So in Ascension, what the places module does is it's kind of a location finder. So what you can do is you can put in, for example, if you have a company that has different kinds of office addresses, you can put in different kinds of addresses into the places module. And once you put in the places tag inside the content of a page, then a map will be shown with the different locations together with the name, the address, and also if you want to display that, different kinds of one-touch buttons for the phone, email, and the description. And if you want a link. Well, in this case, because we want to stay true to the theme of the holiday app, we want to use the places module to show activities inside of in the city of Rome. So what we did here is, as you can see, I've made 4 entries for different sightseeing locations within Rome. If I want to add another one, it's just simple. I start typing. In this case, I want to add the Colosseum. The address is, bear with me. And if I click now on add, you can see that the system automatically builds up a GPS code, which will be used to show a pointer in the Google Maps. How this looks visually, I will show you in a short bit once we've made it. And once again, just like with placing the panel menu and the footer menu, you can use the arrows to situate them in a certain order. And here I also want to have a phone number, and I want to have an email address. So if I click on update, well, then I filled it out. Of course, you can use the places property to suit it, to make it suitable for your design. So you can fill out the map size. You can put a search field in it. You can also use it to hide certain things, or style it within the design that you have made. So if I now go to the content where I want to place it, then I can use the shortcode or tag places, hashtag places, to show the places module within the content of the app. So I go to pages and I go to activities, and here you have that page, and I put the shortcode in, hashtag places. I press an update, and if I go now to activities, you can see that the little map is shown up, the search field is shown up, and the entries that I've placed here, so that you can show them here on the map also. If I want to adjust this, for example, I've put in hide buttons. I put an update, refresh, and I go to activities. Then you can see that the buttons are being placed for, in this case, a route navigation and a one-touch button to show it on the big map. And what this does is, as soon as you, for example, you click the GPS button, the phone connects to its native navigation tool. So, for example, in an iPhone, it goes to the Maps app, and you can get a route description directly to this location. And like I did in the Colosseum, I've added also a one-touch phone and a one-touch email button. Once again, you can add the design, you can change the design and look and feel here for the Places module. So if I want to hide the buttons again, just to make it suitable for the app, once again, the buttons are gone. Till so far the Places module. The chat module is also I think one of the requirements that you have to put into. For example, if we want to have the possibility for users to chat to each other and within the app to the, for example, in this case, the hotel owner, I go to my hotel page, and let's say I want to no information. Now, let's put it in the activities page. On the activity page where we were working on, I want to place a chat function. Setting up the chat function is just as easy as setting up the other function modules. If I go to the function module chat, I click on it. So if we want to show this within the content of the app, you can use the shortcode or tag chat, hashtag chat. So I go into the pages module. I want to place it below the activities. So here I go to hashtag chat, click on update, put refresh, and I go to activities. And here you can see now I've already signed in on the name Roger because this is my computer. So during testing, then it's picked up. So that was the placing the chat function inside your content. And one of the more important things, of course, is also showing a gallery. We have a section in the app, it's called Photos. If you go here, well, it's a complete empty page. What you can do is, if I wanted to show a string of photos, I can use the gallery module. And the gallery module you can use in different kinds of ways. So you can either use it as a page previewer or as a full screen gallery. In which way you want to use it, it depends on the way you want to. You have to upload the images. So in this case, I'm going to show you a sliding gallery that you can add within the content of a page. So here we have a content page regarding photos, and I want to add a horizontal sliding gallery within this page. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to set up a gallery theme. If I click that, Gallery theme is being used as soon as you want to view the gallery full screen. Now, in this case, I don't really need it because I'm going to, like I said, I'm going to embed it in the content of the page. And you have the gallery properties. So what I'm going to do here is you can either choose between disable open gallery, yes or no. What that means, I'm going to show you directly by example, but for now, I'm going to disable it. I'm going to disable the indicator, and I don't want to make it zoomable, and I'm going to use the swipe view. So I click update. Well, then it's time to upload your files. I've already uploaded some, but because I'm going to embed it inside of the content, it's very important that you take a look at the screen sizes, because if you don't disable the auto scale, then the system will scale your images automatically. This means that they will become smaller in the preview mode and will be aligned 100% within the full screen gallery view. So in this case, I'm going to upload an image with the screen size of 300 by 361 pixels, because that is the actual size I want to show it in. So to show, add, and I'm going to disable the auto scale. So that way the system just leaves it on the same size that I'm going to upload it. And then I'm going to click add. Then you can add some extra things, for example, a title and a description. And if I choose update, then I have to give it a place in the content of the app. Like every other function module, we use a tag. In this case, it's tag #gallery. So I go to pages. I go to photos. And here I place the tag #gallery. If I push update, and then I go to photos, then you can see here that the photos are being placed. Well, you can't see anything else because I've disabled the indicator. So I want to let people know that there are more than one photo they can scroll between. So I enable the indicator. If I then go to refresh, go to photos, then you can see that an indicator is added so that people can see, oh well, I have to swipe to a few more photos. Here you can also see the title that is being displayed. In the preview mode, like we are working in here right now, only the title gets displayed. As you can see here, I've disabled the Open Gallery button. If I enable that, I push update, then you can see that there is a icon added here that says Open Gallery. If I push that, then I come into the full screen gallery mode with the bright red background as I discussed. And if I go then to the picture, then you can see here that I've added the title and the description. So if you want to make use of that functionality, enable the Open Gallery. If you just want to show a couple of photos inside the content of an existing page, disable the Open Gallery button so people can't reach that. Till so far the gallery, I don't know, maybe because you have to get a little bit acquainted by working with it, but maybe for now do you have any questions about the gallery? Well, the last function module I want to discuss, and we're coming to the end. Thanks for the feedback, by the way. The last function module I want to discuss is the push message function. The push message function is because everybody who has a smartphone knows what push messages are. That are the offline messages that you get. Well, that is something that is not possible with web apps because they're online and they only can give out information once the user has them in their is visiting the app. So by push notifications, what we do is that you can give extra notifications to a user that is inside the web app. For example, I want to give a welcome message that will appear on the first page once the visitor is visiting the web app. So the first step is to make it so that it fits the design. So if I go to push theme, then here again are the parameters that I can add a header background. I can also the text. I can have a message background and also a text color for the message. I will make it 300 by 200 pixels and I want to have it, for example, a bounce pop-up effect. If I then click update, I can make my message. Then I can also add the extra functionality. Like I said, I want to display it on page 1. In this case, you don't use the hashtag because this is always an internal link, so you can just put in the destination page number. You can also make different kinds of welcoming messages, targeting certain users within different GPS target areas. So if I click this, a map will appear. And then I can say, well, for everybody in the Netherlands, I want to have this message, but I want to create another message for somebody from the United Kingdom, for example. Well, in this case, there's no need for that because I want to show it to everybody. And you can also add an expiry date. So if you have you're building an app for a company that has a kind of discount or something, and it ends on the second week of August, you can also choose a date to stop it so that the message is not shown anymore. For now, if I click update and I go to the emulator, then you can see here the pop-up message that will be shown. These were the function modules I would want to discuss with you. There's only one last functionality that I think will be coming very handy when building the app, and that is adding a Facebook feed so embedding the Facebook feed of a certain company within your app. In this case, I wanted to add a Facebook feed of the hotel that we had the information here. So here you can see I already made a title for it. So if I open the emulator, then I go to hotel, then you can see here that I wanted to have a Facebook feed. Well, the way that you do that is not by using one of the pre-made function modules, but you can just go to the Facebook website, developers.facebook.com, and if you go to the like button, once again, you can find this information also in our Zendesk. There's a little movie discussing this also for the Twitter feed, so you can always rewatch that. But if I go to Likebox, then you can see here you can build up your own Facebook feed embedded information. So for now, I'm just going to fill out the Facebook feed for the hotel. I want to make it a width of 300 pixels and a height of 420 pixels. This way it will be shown the right way in every device. I don't want to show the friend's face, but I do want to show the post. So here you can see that. I don't want to show the header because I made my header myself, and I want to seamlessly import it into the web app, so I don't want to show any borders. So code, then you can go to iframe, and you have to select all this code. Just copy it, go back to the pages, and here, then I have to go into the view HTML mode. So click here, I scroll all the way down, and I just put the code that I've got from the Facebook page and paste it in. I push update, and then you can see it's added. So if I go to the emulator and I go to the hotel, then you can see that the Facebook feed is added into the content of the app. Well, that was it for so far regarding the functionalities. Do you have any questions about the lot of information I've given you until now? Well, this is the conclusion of the webinar. I thank you very much for your attention and for your participation. As I said, there are different ways, because now it's the time for you to start building your web app, but you don't have to do it alone in the way that we are very much willing to help you getting to know the system and creating and transforming your design into a real life working web app. That is why I encourage you to contact us as soon as you walk into a problem. You can do it either by clicking on the support button. If you click that, then you can fill out your question, and you go into our database with where we virtually already answered almost every question you can think of. But you can also contact us directly. At the moment I'm talking to you, that is why the live chat is not on already, but you can leave a message and we get back to you as soon as possible, or during office hours you can just get in contact right away by starting up a chat message, and then we can help you tackling any problems that you might have. Good luck once again. Okay, thank you. Bye.